God, it hurt. Traffic signs are there for a reason. Railroad crossing signs are there for a reason. And today's episode is going to be about that. Don't let that happen to you. I'm going to lay out and design a W10-1, which would be your railroad crossing sign. It's a kind of a hard one to make. Well, not so much hard to make. It's if you lay it out right, it'll turn out fine. Yeah, you've got the railroad crossing with the little things with the R's in it. Anyways, there's a couple little steps you want to ensure that you do to get that thing straight. Anyways, we're going to lay it out from scratch. We're going to build it from ground zero through this exciting episode. I'll take you through the Omega 5 layout. And then after that, special little treat, we're going to go live in the sign shop and we're going to build that sign and show you how it turns out. So grab some popcorn, grab a beer, whatever you need to grab, and I'll see you real soon. All right, hello everybody. Welcome to this exciting episode of Bob the Sign Man. Today we're going to do a little part 6. I've been a little busy, got off track a little bit. I want to continue with my Omega 5 series. I'm going to show you a little bit something different to make today. We're going to be making a railroad crossing sign. It's probably the only sign that you'll make that's circular, except if it's on private property or something, or maybe something else special. But most of the time, the railroad crossing signs, the W10-1, are they look like this. We're pretty familiar with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay out one. I have a 30-inch round circle blank. So as you can see from the center out, you're going to measure on column A, which would be right here. See the A shows the radius from here to here. So that would be 15. We're going to make the one with this little black C here. 15, and that's actually going to be a 30-inch blank. And it's going to have 0.375, which is your inset. So the first border is going to be 3/8 away, and then it's going to be the thickness of the border is 6.25, which is going to be 5/8. So anyways, we're going to start laying that out. One little thing when you lay out circles, I might have showed you in a previous one. You want to hold down on your when you select your tool here to make a border. So we're going to select the circle, and watch what happens when you hold down on your control. Makes a perfect circle. We're going to do another circle, and if we don't hold down on the control or anything like that, here's what happens. It can be just, a monster. It can be any kind of shape or whatever. So you always want to make sure whenever you do your circle that you make a hold down on the control button, and it'll do that. So we're going to press the space bar. That's going to center it. Now let's click this, highlight it, I guess you'd say. See, it's 19.95 because we just drug one out. So we want to change that to 30. We're going to go up here to our shape, and we're going to go into the size. And we want it to be the same size all the way around. And so these numbers match up here, 19.951, so we're okay there. So all we're going to do is make sure that uniform's checked, and it'll give us a uniform all the way around. We're just going to hit 30, and then just hit enter. Hit your space. Now you can see down at the bottom it's 30 by 30. So that's what we want. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the circular borders inside. The first one, we'll hit our tools and then outline. It's going to be minus 0.375. Remember, the minus goes inside. If you don't hit minus, it goes on the outside. So we'll hit OK. Okay, see how it put a border in there? Just click anywhere off of that. Now what we want to do is highlight the inside again, just by touching it with your select tool. So your select tool is this arrow here. Then we're going to go ahead back up to tools again. We're going to outline it, and then we want to outline that minus 0.625. Grab that. That's going to be okay now. Okay, so if you hit your F8 to toggle in to see the colors of it, it's just a white blob. So what we want to do is touch that outside. And we're going to go down and hit a yellow. We're just going to turn it yellow. You can see on the F8. Then we're going to click these two. Hold down on your shift. We're going to highlight those two. Then we want to arrange those. We want to group them. And then we're going to turn them black. So what happens when you do that is you have this thing here going on. Okay, so we want to arrange that to the front. Arrange to the front. So see what happens? You just get this big black circle. The borders aren't pronounced. The reason they're not pronounced like that is because you had already clicked the combine, or you clicked the group, so they're grouped together. So all that's doing is it just grouped those two together. So when you look at it, you're looking from the top of the image. So what you want to do is you want to take and you want to arrange those and you want to combine them together. So now they're one, where before it was two separate round circles. So now they're combined together. So now look what happens. Now it turned it into its border. Okay, now with this F8, what we want to do is we want to get these bars in, okay? So these bars are how far apart are those? Okay, see the H right here? That gives you the distance of those bars. We're making the 15-inch sign, and you go to H. So those are 3 inches thick, and they're at a 45, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to enlarge this a little bit. See the little tools here with the little like magnifying glasses? I just want to enlarge that a little bit. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select one of these, and I'm going to bring it across. I want to make sure it stays on the inside. The height I want 3 inches. The length I'm going to keep the same because I had stretched those across and that's where I want it. Okay, then the thickness and inset goes 0. And the type of corner we want a straight corner because what we want is a straight line that goes across. So you end up with something like this. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to make sure that let me grab my select tool. We want to make sure that thing is perfectly centered. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit our Control A. We got everything all highlighted, and this right here, see the little pyramid here, it says align on centeroid. Right here we want to stack on center. So we want to see how that moved that a little bit. So it stacked it on its center completely in the middle where we want it. But with those railroad crossings, you know how they go at 45-degree angle. So what we want to do is we want to take this. Let's make a copy of it because we're going to need another one. We're going to paste it right there. Okay. We're going to use that one later. So now what we want to do is we want to take this one and we want to hit it at a 45-degree angle. So we're going to go to Shape and we're going to go Directed Rotate. We want to rotate that at 45 degrees. Okay. This one, let's just go ahead and delete that one. So now we want to take this one. We want to copy it, okay, and we are going to paste it. So now we have one that's right here. So what we want to do is we want to take this one and we want to rotate it the other way. So let's go back to Shape, Directed Roll, and we want, if we go back 45, it's going to stand it straight up. So we want to go back the other way. So we want to put it at a 90-degree angle. Okay, and that'll give us the cross that we're looking for. So that's at a 90-degree angle, but it's off a little bit. So we're just going to hit our Control A, which Control A or Select All, I guess you'd say. And then we want to just stack everything on centers again. So see how we have everything stacked on centers? Okay. The next step with this, see how those are inside the line? Every one of them is inside, in between those two. So that's perfect where we want it. So now what we're going to do, if you hit your F8, you think, oh great, that looks good. That's what I'm looking for. But when you cut out your design, if you send it to the cutter now, you're going to have all these cut lines in here, and you don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a railroad crossing here. That's A and B. And we're going to come up to Tools because we're going to combine those together. I'll show you how we do that. So we're going to go into the Effects. We're going to go under Special, and we have A and B, and you continue, and you just hit that. Now see what happened? It joined them all together. So now we eliminated those cut lines. So what we want to do is we want to incorporate our cross marks inside that circle, and that's real simple to do. You click A, B, and you come up to Tools again, and you hit your Effects, go to Special, and your A plus B, and you hit Continue. And now look what it did. It opened it up, so it removed all those cut lines. So now when you hit your F8, you still got that problem again. It's going to go like that because now what we have to do is we're going to take these and Tools. Since we unselected everything, we're going to combine them together. Okay. And now since they're all combined together, we have that. Exactly what we want again. So there's our now all we have to do is put the R in there, and the R is going to be fairly easy to do. Let's go back and look what they're looking for the R. See, here's the R, and you can see it's D. It gives you from top to here, so it's telling you the characteristics you need for D. which is going to be find the 15 inch, what we're making is going to be the 30. So we want to do a 7-inch series E letter, okay? Oops, hit the wrong button there. I'm going to go back. So we're going to come up to here, and we got our E, and we want to type in 7. Remember, always use the Highway Gothic. Okay, now we're going to come up here and select our text tool. We're just going to type in an R. Now you're going to have to hit the capital, your shift key, because all it does, see if you hit R, it makes a small r, obviously. So you just type up R for the 7-inch there, and then we're going to type up another R. Okay, now those are going to go in, and we're going to find out exactly where those things are going to set in. So here's what we're going to do. So you see the R, here's lines that go straight across. So let's set up some reference lines on this real quick. Remember to hit the reference lines, you just come over here, left click your mouse, and you drag one of those blue lines in there. And I'm going to drag one in here, okay? Just like that. So now we have a nice, divided up in quarters, I guess you'd say. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look and see that R, it's showing the E and the E. So it's showing that that 7-inch letter is 3.5 inches. So we want to split that in half. So you want 3.5 inches above the line, or 3.5 inches below is where you want the bottom of the R's. So let's do that. Let's go 3.5 inches below. So we're just going to make ourselves a little reference tool here. We're going to drag out one of these, and the height of that is going to be 3.50. Okay, the length, let's just go 1 inch on the length. Thickness type, just make sure your thickness and inset you punch 0, and then we're just going to make it square. So now we have a little block. As you can see, if I touch it there, it's 3.5 by 1 inches there. So we're going to take this little block, and we're going to move it. See how it turned red there? So we know that that's dead center. We're going to move this down until we're on dead center again. So now we're going to bring the R down. It's kind of where it's showing the R to be, and then we're going to bring this R down. And now I have those kind of centered in there where they look pretty good. So if you look at your railroad sign, we have this. And you go, oh, that's it, we're done. Not really. We just optically centered those by looking at them with our eyes. But we don't do optically center. We got to get them set just the way they should be. In order to do that, see this line G? Is that a G? Yeah. So from the center line to the front of the R, it's saying that it has to be 7.125, okay? So from this blue line to here, it has to be 7.125. So to do that, we're just going to click this length to 7.125. We're going to change that into the length we want. So this little box here is showing us from here to here. See how it turned red there? That's perfectly where I want it. So now my R has to be, see how it absorbed it? You can see it's really thin now, or if you were to go out, it's thicker. So once it's on top, it's not going to turn red, but you can see how it's perfect there. So now we have 3.5 inches down, and we have perfect over to that side, okay? So now we're going to go look at the other R and see where it's placed. So from the other R, from the face of it right here, it's showing this F, and F is 12.375. So from this to out there is 12.375. So we're just going to go to this. We're going to turn this box into, the height is okay. The length we want 12.375. I believe it was 12.375. I'm going to go back and double check. Click OK. Was that, yeah, 12.375 F. See from there to there. Okay, go back here. Now this is, my box is set up perfect here, so I'm going to set it up so that the center is going to turn red. You find the sweet spot. There it goes. So now my R, we had it pretty close, as you can see, but not the exact perfectness. That's my new word for today, perfectness. And then see how it's all nice and just like a single line, where if it was over a little bit more, see how doubled up it is. Oops. Make sure we're still red down there, and I'm going to tab that over. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm going to bring that out, and I'm just going to delete that. So now there's our railroad crossing sign all set up. And what the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit our shift to highlight all that. Shift, and then we're going to, you can come up here and hit arrange, and we want to group all those together. And let's go ahead and move out our reference lines. So now when you hit your F8, you have the perfect railroad crossing sign. And so all you have to do now, if you want to output it to your cutter, you just hit your anywhere's inside. You can hit a letter since those are all grouped up. And what it's going to do when you hit the select, see how it's just going to select the black. You want to make sure you don't cut that out, because now you're just wasting your material, because that's the actual aluminum blank that you have covered yellow. So now all you're going to have to do is just send this off to your plotter, save it into your files, your save as, wherever you're going to save it. I save mine. I have a folder for all the W's, so I'd call this a W, and then you open it up and you have W, then you have, with all the W's, then you have a series W series 10. This is a series W10-1. So go ahead and save it. And so when you click this, it's really simple. All you're going to do then is you're going to output that selected, and it's going to take it and it's going to select it, and it's going to send it out to your cutter. I use a Gerber cutter. I have no installed on here. I'm using my home computer for this, so it's not going to send it off to my cutter, but we're far beyond that now. You know how to send your materials off to your cutter. You should by now. Depends on what kind of plotter you have. I mean, I could show you on mine, but that's just what I have. So anyways, there's a little look into making the circles. And we're going to go up here. You want to save it on the desktop. I have folders that I save them in, and you can just make sure you remember you save it as a PLT file. And you just want to save that as a W10-1. Real simple, and then you just click save, and it's going to save it wherever you want it. Alrighty, we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you this next little part of the video. On the same video, I'm going to show you how to cover it, and a little trick on how to cover these, because these are a little tricky to cover. Alrighty, we're going to continue on. Okay, now that we've laid that out and everything, I'll show you a quick little setup tip here, trick, whatever you want to call it. So this will be the sign blank. You've already have it covered. You notice on the back, I already have the three signs, or the three holes where we're going to mount this. So this will be the top, bottom hole, whatever, and the middle hole. So what I do is I kind of make a little indentation with my finger, find the middle hole there, draw a line straight across. Because this railroad sign is really hard to lay out. Because if you get it off just a little bit when you put your design on and you go to hang it up, your sign could be a little bit crooked, and we don't want that. So a simple way is just lay a line across through here. This particular sign on the sheet, it shows 15-inch. Was 15 inches from the center to the edge here, so it'll be a 30-inch blank. So this is 30-inch altogether, and it calls for a .375, which is a 3/8 inch radius around it. So what I did is I put my little marks for 3/8. So I just made 4 of them right there. So now when I go to lay out my design that we've already designed and cut out, sent to your printer or your cutter, whatever you have, whatever you want to call it, and then you have your design cut out. You have your transfer tape on it. When you lay it out, since you already have those 3/8 inch marks on it, see if I can get a little bit close up here better for you. Here we go. So now I've already have my 3/8 inch marks here, 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 and here. So that'll give me my border, how it's going to be centered this way. But then to get this thing straight, what I have, if you can see the cutouts here, I can still see that black line that I drew all the way straight through, and I want to line these center points up on it perfect, because you don't want to get them off. So if you get them off like this, obviously when you hang your sign now, it's going to be a little bit crooked. So try to get these, or don't try, do, get these lines that you can see through right in the middle of those points. So what we'll do is we'll line those points up and make sure that our borders are lined up so that we have 3/8 all the way around and we're lined up. It's a little tricky to get that lined up straight in there. If you just take your time, watch your marks, don't be in a hurry. Everything will line up perfect. So we have 3/8, 3/8. I'm going to even go as far as to take my little ruler just to make sure that I have my 3/8. Okay, so now I have everything all lined up in there. I have those points that come together real sharp right in the middle there. I have those lined up even with that line that I have stretched across. So we'll just go ahead. Set this design off to get covered. Then it's just a matter of peeling back the sheeting. Sometimes it's easier said than done here. This stuff really sticks. Okay. And I'm going to cut some of this off. Go ahead, clean hands, palm up on the thing. Just put enough pressure to keep it tight against the roller so it doesn't wrinkle on you or anything. Same thing, I'll peel back the other side. Palm up on it, make sure I don't wrinkle or anything. Go ahead and peel my transfer tape off. Then what I'll do is I'll take a clean rag without any debris on it or anything. I use denatured alcohol. Give that a little. Look how easy it takes those lines off, just like nothing. Remove all my reference lines. And as you see, we line up perfect now. This will be straight. Like I said, if you get that design off a little bit, your sign will be mounted like this and it'll be crooked. So as long as you get that center line in, and what I did is I made sure that that center line that came through, these little points here lined up perfect. So now we have a W10-1, a railroad crossing sign, all ready to go. Alrighty, as always, thanks for watching.